Grace and peace to my dear friends and colleagues at St. Luke's, Park Ridge. This past Sunday, yesterday, Hebrews gave us a wonderful image for a life of faith. It's called a race, a contest. And the one who is the captain of our team leading the race is the pioneer and perfecter of our faith, Jesus Christ. And we run this race in the company of all of our ancestors in the faith, the great cloud of witnesses who are cheering us on. And the end of the race is victory. And the victory is the victory of Christ, resurrection from the dead, which is ours in our baptism. And so in this race we're running, our vision process is a part of that race, a part of being faithful, a part of encouraging one another and our neighbors and those who touch our life around the world. It's a part of our encouraging each other in mission and ministry and in keeping the faith, because that's what Hebrews 11 and 12 is about. It's about a faith which endures in hard times and good times. And we're told to run the race with perseverance and with enduring faith. So I thought about that. And I remembered my first New York City marathon. I was 30 years old. I signed up for the marathon as a way to quit smoking. And trained from my 30th birthday in April until the marathon in September. So I trained 4 months. And running that race taught me what it means to have a great cloud of witnesses and companions cheering you on. The race starts in Staten Island at Fort Wadsworth. You get there early in the morning, almost before the sun comes up, and you're with thousands of others. And then you go over the Verrazano Bridge, and there's so much adrenaline, and it's a joyful beginning. And as you come to the other side of the bridge, you run through Lutheran heartland in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. And along 4th Avenue, the Finn Church and the Danish Church and the Norwegian Church and the German Church are, and people coming out of the church to cheer you on. And then you go into the heart of Brooklyn, and you're in Williamsburg, where the Hasidics, black-clad, come and watch with their top hats and their side curls and kind of nod as you go by. I think that's their way of clapping. And then all of a sudden you're in Crown Heights, and you're in the heart of Caribbean, Jamaican part of Brooklyn. And there are steel drums, reggae music, and people are singing and dancing and cheering you on. And then you get to the part where it starts to get hard. The first heartbreak hill is 59th Street Bridge, and from Queens into Manhattan. And at that bridge, my congregation gathered to cheer me on, to see the members of my church. They had a lay service that Sunday and arranged it so they could be there to cheer me on at the 59th Street Bridge. Then you go over the bridge and you're running through the Upper East Side. And in the late 70s, this was a time of the single bars, and disco was blaring, and people are cheering, and it's a party atmosphere. And then it starts really getting hard as you cross the Willis Avenue Bridge in Harlem into the South Bronx. And it's desolate. And the South Bronx then was a place where there were a lot of burned out buildings, but the people gathered and they cheered, and they were, you'd run past local barbecues and people would offer you a banana, an orange, a cup of water. And then finally, in the final stretch, as you're back into Manhattan and Harlem and going towards the upper reaches of Central Park, the people you're running with, your companions, encourage you. And let's make it together. Don't quit now. We can do it. And we did. And when I crossed the finish line, I was so overwhelmed. I just started crying, and I was relieved. And there was my wife with our 2 sons, and she was pregnant with my daughter Rachel. And I just said to her, "You're next." And the next year, she ran the marathon and she trained while I would watch the children at home for her training sessions. So then the race is over, and they put this aluminum thing on you that kind of warm you up and help you calm down. And I got on the subway, the number 7 train, back to Queens, and all the people saw me and in the car and started cheering. And a guy came up to me and opened up a Rheingold beer and put it in my hand. And I realized we had a good day today. But the thing about the New York City Marathon is I don't believe that anyone ever runs it alone. The people cheering you on, the people you know and don't know, the people in the race who care about you. I think it's a wonderful metaphor for our life of faith. Who are the ones who have cheered you on, especially when you didn't know if you could keep going? And of course, the one who leads us and who beckons us from beyond the grave is Jesus Christ, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith. So, sisters, brothers, run the good race. Fight the beautiful fight of faith. For Christ is with us, especially now in our time of transition at St. Luke's, when God is asking us for enduring faith in Jesus' name.